So our first speaker today comes to us virtually. Rachel Griffin has risen through the ranks at Walmart since 2012 with tours in marketing, merchandising, operations, and is currently in supply chain, where she focuses on innovating last-mile delivery. In her current role, she explores bleeding-edge technologies to disrupt the final step in the supply chain. It is my pleasure to introduce Rachel this morning, Walmart's Director, Last Mile, AVs, EVs, Drones, and Bots.
Hi, I'm Rachel Griffin, and I'm Director of Autonomous Transportation for Last Mile Delivery at Walmart. My team helps imagine, design, and collaborate to use next-generation technology to help customers get what they want when they want it. It's a simple statement, but making it a reality has changed dramatically in the last few years as customer expectations have shifted, and of course, the pandemic perpetuated these changes. We found ourselves staying the course of our omnichannel strategy, but accelerating faster than planned when it comes to delivery. Now that customers have experienced the convenience of fast delivery, we see them continuing to adopt this service as part of their regular shopping behavior. Why? Because we're all busy. To-do lists have grown, and the time to do it all seems to be shrinking. Our slogan, "Save money, live better," doesn't just account for cash anymore. It's also the valuable currency of time. Our customers are taking the value of their time into consideration with every purchase. Think back to when shipping something to your home was a novelty. Now, shipping is no longer a perk. It's an expectation. It has to be free or low cost, and it has to be fast, as in hours fast, or we lose the customer. Contactless services are more important than ever. Increasing safety for customers and workers has been paramount. There are hundreds of ways Walmart is adapting and preparing for not just next year, but the next 10 years. Our sustainability commitment to avoid 1 billion metric tons of greenhouse gases by 2030 is included in our efforts. Our innovations are giving us a competitive advantage as we leverage environmentally friendly transportation and our robust supply chain, all with an intimate understanding of the customer needs. That's why we've created a suite of delivery options that can be used to serve our customers, whether it's a part of their weekly routine or a surprise moment where if they don't get that popcorn right now, movie night is ruined. Let's look at it in the context of a dinner party. To make sure you always have your staples available, think milk, bread, eggs. You have a weekly restock through InHome. If you're not familiar with the program, members who check out online or in our app can choose InHome delivery. Then an associate gets all the items on your list and delivers it straight into your fridge or pantry. If you've ever wished food would magically appear in your kitchen, InHome is the closest thing to it. We began piloting this service back in 2019 in a few markets and have since continued to expand the program. But back to our dinner party. If you want to venture outside your staples, maybe you're interested in cooking steak, fresh asparagus, and even need some nicer napkins. That's where autonomous vehicles come in. Step outside your home, get your items out of the car, and be on your way. But inevitably, you forgot an ingredient and you need it now. With ease and speed, a drone can drop it off right at your doorstep. Over the last few years, we've taken our imagination and futuristic ideas and tested several use cases with a variety of partners. Before getting into our AV and drone partnerships, I want you to understand the benefits of Walmart's already established supply chain ecosystem that makes up our omnichannel strategy. We are uniquely positioned to offer AV and drone delivery at scale. We have more than 4,700 retail stores, with 90% of Americans living within just 10 miles of a Walmart. And today, we deliver from more than 3,000 stores and growing, reaching nearly 70% of the US population. When we leverage this impressive scale with innovative modes of delivery, the customer wins. As we evaluated our supply chain ecosystem, we identified an opportunity in the routes between our locations, also known as the middle mile. In 2019, we began a pilot with Gatik, which operates self-driving Class 3 vehicles through fixed, repeatable routes. The short-haul logistics company helps us get merchandise from nearby distribution centers to stores faster, cheaper, and more reliably. It's a cost and time savings that is passed on to the customer. The pilot has now expanded beyond Northwest Arkansas and into parts of Louisiana. As I mentioned in my dinner party example, we also found opportunity with AVs in the last mile, delivering directly to customers' homes. Back in November, we announced a pilot with Cruise in Scottsdale, Arizona. This self-driving electric car company has given us a look at how we can use and scale AVs to deliver items in a sustainable, eco-friendly way. In April, we took a step further and invested in Cruise to ultimately aid in our work toward developing a last-mile ecosystem that is fast, low-cost, and scalable. From the streets to the sky, we believe drones are vital in creating a well-coordinated network of delivery options. It completes the last-mile delivery ecosystem. Specifically, I want to touch on our partnership with DroneUp. You'll hear from the CEO, Tom Walker, in a couple of minutes on their journey. From Walmart's perspective, their impressive network of FAA-certified drone pilots, technology, and operations expertise, and commitment to safety help solidify our partnership. In 2020, we launched trial deliveries of at-home COVID-19 self-collection kits. Along with the heightened safety of contactless delivery, this process reduced the time to receive the kit versus a traditional ground delivery, two key wins when they matter most. After safely completing hundreds of drone deliveries from Walmart stores, we made the decision to further invest in DroneUp this summer. Now, we're continuing to explore how to grow this solution to benefit more people starting in Northwest Arkansas. While we continue to pilot new solutions, we're looking to the horizon and scaling these propositions. We're in the process of building a DroneUp network in the area to begin serving customers by the end of the year. We know the fastest way to fall behind is to think anything is finished. The learning and testing and innovating is never over. But we feel confident in our years of work that AVs and drones are in a place to scale and will help not only satisfy our customers, but impress them. As you heard from the examples I shared, it takes a number of strong partnerships to complete this vision of our last mile delivery. There is nothing better than bringing the best minds together and creating solutions, or better yet, imagining what's next. I'm proud of the work we're doing at Walmart. I believe our priorities, mindset, and investments are in the right place to serve the customer safely, quickly, and with integrity. It's only going to get better from here. Now, I'm happy to introduce someone that is helping us execute this vision and make it a reality. While exploring contactless delivery, I was introduced to Tom Walker and the DroneUp team. As I mentioned earlier, we are impressed with their technological expertise and collaboration with the FAA. Since our pilot program with Quest Diagnostics and DroneUp in delivering COVID-19 at-home self-test kits, Tom and his team have remained diligent in their commitment to safe operations. We believe they have innovated an ecosystem that will advance aviation technology and consumer drone delivery. Without further ado, please welcome Tom Walker, founder and chief executive officer of DroneUp.
Rachel actually texted me this morning again, expressed her disappointment that she couldn't be here. I think we did that tape as an emergency backup, and in this current environment, obviously, it paid off. Before I start, you guys are beautiful. This is nice to be back doing this again, isn't it? And thank you to the brave ones who came out so we could actually see face to face. Back in March of 2020, as the magnitude of the pandemic started becoming clear, questions arose of exactly how commercially available drones and their drone operators could aid in the pandemic relief, specifically with regards to delivery. When we were asked, we answered directly and confidently, we have no idea. Nobody did. Candidly, at the time, we had never done a single delivery. It just wasn't a focus area for us. But in a few weeks, we conducted an exercise at an abandoned college in Lawrenceville, Virginia. And for 4 days, 4 nights, with 50 of the best operators we could convince to come out during the pandemic, we tested every different aspect of the drone delivery process: communications, systems, operational limitations, airspace deconfliction, and regulatory boundaries. We published our results in a white paper called Operation Last Mile. Public response was generally positive, but inside our industry, we were hammered. Most laughed at our use of the Inspire 2 drone, which was clearly not designed to be a delivery platform. Others giggled at our use of forks connected to the landing gear that, when raised, would actually release the product. But the harshest criticism, that was saved for our use of a nearly 8-foot tether that was connected to a grocery bag that would dangle aimlessly below the drone, only to be left in a piled heap upon delivery. Apparently, even MacGyver would not have been proud, and we have the memes to prove it. Meanwhile, Walmart was investigating the potential use of contactless delivery of COVID-19 test kits by drone. After reading our white paper, they contacted us to discuss a pilot project. We agreed to launch our first delivery site in one of the nation's pandemic hotspots. By now, we had matured our system. Still the Inspire 2 and the 8-foot tether and the dangling grocery bag, but the forks on the landing gear were gone. And we had upgraded to a remotely operated fishing line release mechanism we found online. Take that, MacGyver. On a hot, muggy morning last September, we launched our first delivery operation just up the road here in North Las Vegas. Seconds into that first launch, we learned that the Santa Ana winds do not in fact stop at the southern mountain passes in California. Seconds after taking off, a downsloping gust grabbed the package, brought it up higher than the drone with the tether freakishly close to the props. It took 200 minutes to get the drone safely on the ground. Okay, it wasn't 200, but for those of you who were there, it felt like 200 minutes. Our team, undeterred, went back to work. And within an hour, those forks were back, except this time they would hold the package tightly under the drone. Then as we got to the landing or delivery area, we would raise the gear, extend the tether, lower it down, and still release it with that remote fishing line mechanism, but it was crude but functional. And over the next 9 weeks, using what we now affectionately refer to as the first low-altitude 2-stage cargo deployment system, we would conduct 1,238 deliveries flying over 1,732 miles into residential areas without a single incident. Thanks. Between Operation Last Mile and those real-world deliveries, we were constantly learning, and learning a lot. We would extend those delivery operations to medical campuses, NATO, and other notable retailers. One thing we learned that was somewhat important is that mechanical failure wasn't a key risk issue. As stated in other industry findings, the failure rates among small, well-built drones is about 1 in 100,000 operational hours. Instead, almost every single issue we had was one of 2 problems: loss of signal or human error. And that was exciting for us because we knew right then that we could address both of those issues. But perhaps the most important thing we learned is that we couldn't do it solo. We watched as others tried to go it alone in the industry, developing their own proprietary platforms, their own custom software, and other restrictive closed-loop systems. We realize that you cannot unlock the fantastic potential of this industry without embracing the innovative spirit and collective talents of the many trailblazers moving our industry from emerging to empowered. We realized that we needed a village. So over the next 9 months, we worked with over 50 partners around the world. And what I'm proud of is that many of you are in this room. And we spent time methodically researching critical areas such as aeronautical engineering, autonomy, diverse and redundant connectivity, precision landing and delivery, air, signal, and ground risk mitigation, delivery logistics, techniques and mechanisms, and battery efficiency and operational range. And through partnerships, investments, and acquisitions, we built a team of partners that as a result today, we are conducting fully autonomous, dynamically planned and executed, and disparate operations in congested airspaces with triple redundant connectivity, utilizing high altitude, low altitude, and kiosk delivery systems, operating domestically developed and mission optimized biannual quads, hexes, and VTOL platforms with advanced airspace deconfliction and management, and although limited by regulations, the ability to deliver safely up to 10 miles. All of that in just months because of partnerships and because of teamwork. Indeed, without BVLOS capabilities, we cannot realize at-scale commercial drone delivery. However, that does not absolve our responsibility to continue aggressive innovation and iteration to ensure that when the inevitable enablement of BVLOS becomes a reality, we are ready to execute. I'll speak more about BVLOS in a moment, but let's focus on what we can do right now. Certainly, incredible progress has been made in both operational and technological capabilities. You have to go no further than the floor to see that. But we still have work to do in some critical areas. One area that we are focusing on right now is customer experience. The best tech on the planet means very little if the experience of those who you expect to use it is poor. Customers will be patient in the early days of drone delivery. We're seeing that. But it will not last. Once the novelty of getting products quickly delivered by drone wears off, ongoing engagement and market growth will be driven by consistently improving operational quality, product selection, and last-inch sophistication. This is why we must remain laser-focused on developing open systems, which ensure our ability to continually integrate future technological innovations, providing improved operational capabilities, safety, and speed without continually disrupting the delivery process and thereby impacting customer experience. All right, let's discuss BVLOS. As many of you in the room know, I have been a voice for doing what we can under line of sight while the technologies and regulations mature. However, let me go on the record today and say that it is time, with measured and performance-based methodologies, that we enable BVLOS operations to allow this industry to begin to scale. The FAA has faced this challenge from the beginning, safely integrating a new class of pilotless aircraft into an airspace management system designed for piloted platforms has proven challenging, and to not simply be a new set of rules or a modified type certification process, but an entire paradigm shift. And we, meaning all of us here, have to be part of that shift. As I mentioned earlier, we'll never realize the potential of our industry by going it alone. We need partners. And the FAA should be one of those partners. And the FAA should view us as their partners. Not just a handful of us, all of us. So what can we do to help the FAA get BVLOS enabled? Well, we're doing it. We can conduct statistical analysis that demonstrate how safe it is to fly UASs in low altitude airspace and show that right now, today, the probability that a professionally operated drone will cause significant damage to a product or person is strikingly low. And our team is wrapping up with partners a months-long study that we think will demonstrate exactly that. We can share with the industry and the FAA data collected during training and daily operations that can inform the standards that'll be developed for operating commercial UASs at scale. We can develop and standardize training and document thorough operation procedures that ensure the highest achievable levels of safety. And we can help define acceptable risk. Most of you here traveled on an airplane, and no airplane flight is 100% safe. And candidly, from what I've seen lately, the most dangerous part of air travel are the passengers. And we don't have any of those yet. We operate our entire air transportation system under the concept of accepting some level of risk. Commercial UAS operations should function in the same manner. In short, we can no longer let perfect get in the way. If we try to make safety a certainty, we will never make progress. We must level the playing field. The largest players with the deepest pockets should not be the only ones influencing new regulatory and compliance requirements. As we all know, and it's not by accident, that often leads to functionally unachievable rules for the other smaller startups. It's time to start making regulatory decisions based on data, not on the opinions of the loudest voices in the room. We have good data now, and everyone here knows what that data shows. We are all part of a rapidly emerging industry, and no one company will make it successful. It will require all of us. BVLOS, long-range delivery, advanced air mobility, and what we have yet to imagine. It can all be achieved efficiently through industry collaboration. DroneUp and Walmart are committed to this industry, and we look forward to growing our network of like-minded partners, capitalizing on the momentum we've built, and working together to forge what's next. Thank you.